on immigration. Can't live with them, can't live without them. As the cliche goes, many may think that we cannot live with immigrants, but in reality, we cannot live without them. More than 80% of immigrations entered the United States through Ellis Island from 1890 to 1920, and since then, immigration laws have only gotten more strict. It's harder to become a legal American citizen. Therefore, many immigrants who try to enter America enter illegally because it's too difficult to become legal. When Americans hear the word immigrant, oftentimes they look down upon the word or think, immigrant, that must mean they're illegal. But you will be proven wrong. Have you ever bought blueberries from right here in the USA or oranges grown in Florida? If the answer is yes, most likely you support illegal immigrants. Whether you like it or not, immigrants are needed not only to do low-class jobs that American citizens will not do, but also to keep the economy up. And we can't overlook the fact that they have risked their lives for better opportunities in America. Because of these reasons, the American government should make it easier for immigrants to become legal American citizens. That way, when we buy our oranges or blueberries from America, we are not supporting illegals, but rather legal citizens. You may be wondering how immigration, let alone illegal immigration, can benefit the United States. Well, in 1952, President Eisenhower passed the Immigration and Nationality Act. This act prevented 75% of immigrants trying to come to America from actually entering. They had to take literacy tests and tests on the American Constitution, which many American citizens couldn't even pass. Now, you may think this is a good thing, but over the 28-year span of this limited immigration, the American economy plummeted almost 20%, according to whitehouse.gov. Renuka Rayasan of usnews.com states that immigrants have a higher propensity to be self-employed because this is the only way to crack the economic system. In other words, immigrants are more likely to succeed in the American culture if they own their own businesses and employ immigrants of their same nationality. And over 60% of privately owned restaurants in the United States are owned by immigrants. Knowing this, it's easy to understand why the American economy plummeted in 1952 with so many immigrants owning their own restaurants and own businesses. Obviously, if we didn't have immigrants entering, then they didn't have as many businesses. Today, 8 to 12 million illegals are currently in the United States, and obviously we can't get an accurate number. But you may think that these immigrants take jobs away from Americans. But no, if the Americans want jobs, they can easily get them. The reason that these immigrants take the Americans' jobs are because they will do work for less money than the American citizens will do. Right now, minimum wage is $7.25, and if you are a business owner and you employ an immigrant, they will work for about $2.50 an hour rather than $7.25. And this is just a cartoon I found. It says America's illegal immigrants building the world of tomorrow today, and down here it says for $1.58 an hour. So it's just kind of ironic that if because America is so money driven, most Americans won't do blue-collar work in fields or landscaping for $7.25. They'll want more. And if you're a business owner, why would you want to pay that much more if you can get the same work done with illegals and pay under the table? So if you're a business owner and look at it that way, it makes sense. And if the Americans really wanted a job and went out there and decided that, hey, I need a job, I'll do what I can for $7.25 an hour, then they would do it. But America's really greedy, so they don't. And today, the laws for entering America have really increased. You must be able to read, whereas back in 1890 to 1920, when immigrants entered through Ellis Island, all they needed was to say what their purpose for coming to America was and where they were coming from. And today you need literacy tests, you need to know the constitutional rights, the amendments, which I'm just learning now, and if you're from another country, I don't know how you would know that. So laws have gotten a lot more strict. So illegal immigrants don't have either the money or the time to put into learning the English language or the Constitution, for that matter. And so they just enter illegally instead of going through all of the requirements for being legal. So if the U.S. government lessened some of the laws for entering, for becoming a citizen, then more immigrants would be legal rather than illegal. Melissa Vo, an immigrant from Thailand living in Boston, owns her own restaurant. And she speaks on the fact that immigrants she speaks on the fact of why immigrants employ illegal immigrants. And she says, immigrants often speak English as a second language and do not have a deep group of people to help them financially or with advertising. And because immigrants do not speak good English, they employ their native-speaking immigrants to help run their businesses, and therefore pay under the table illegal immigrants. And you may not know who is illegal and who is legal, and I believe it shouldn't matter. Either way, America was built on immigration, and it shouldn't stop now. If the United States government simply created less strict laws for immigrants to enter the U.S., then we would be supporting legal immigrants rather than illegal immigrants when we buy fruit or get our lawn done. And it has been proven by StateGov.com that immigrants boost the American economy over 20%. So I believe that in order to keep growing, the U.S. should continue to allow immigrants into the United States.